Good morning, friend. Today is Tuesday, the 20th of August, 2019. I'm Travis Egan, the branch manager at Hancock Mortgage Partners, and today's daily musing is a story. I like to tell stories. This one, though, is one about me. Have you ever felt like you were on a spotlight, like someone shined a spotlight on you? No matter what you were doing, like someone was always watching you. And I really got to thinking about that, like the idea of a spotlight and how we all live our lives kind of in our own universe, right? So sometimes we talk about millennials this way, right? Like they're the sun and the universe revolves around them. But it's true of all of us, really, if you think about it. We all kind of see the world through our own perspective. And I'll give you an example. So when I first started shooting videos and doing that type of things, interviewing local business owners years ago, the first couple of them I went to my coach and I was really pretty hard on myself. And the coach was like, well, what's wrong with the video? And I was like, well, I'm a little heavier than I want to be. I'm not that Marine I once was, and I'm stumbling over my words and, I don't speak perfectly. And I speak in cliches sometimes. And he's like, well, yeah, no one should do a mortgage with you with your fat behind, and I was like, hey, hold on a second, right? And what he basically said to me is, look, that's what you look like, right? When people come to meet with you professionally, they meet with you because you're good at your craft, not because of how you look on a video or how you sound or that you don't speak perfectly. And what I realized is that I had to get over myself. Right? Like I had to get past my own foibles, my own beliefs in my system that I wasn't living up to this idealized version of myself. And I think we all do that in many different ways, right? We feel like the spotlight is on us. So if we make a mistake, when we make that mistake, everyone's watching us. But here's the truth. It's just not true. Most people don't notice. And there was a great study that I recently read about that talked about how an intro to psychology professor was trying to prove this point. And what he did is he had some students, a handful of students, wear these bright yellow polka dotted t-shirts into their intro to psych class, 300 students in the classroom. And at the end, he made them do surveys. The whole class did a survey. And the people that wore the shirts greatly overestimated how many people noticed the shirt they were wearing, right? They thought everyone saw them wearing this bright yellow, ugly t-shirts. And very few people did. Like very few people did it because they were in their own head living their own lives. And they weren't really paying that much attention. I think there's great news in that. I mean, the great news is when, you have a little spill on your shirt or something, or maybe you have a little something in your tooth or something after eating. Far less people are noticing. Right? So you get back to the office and you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been like this all day. Probably fewer people even paid any attention to that throughout the day. I think the benefit to that is now that you can say, look, that takes a little bit of the burden off, that we can just live our lives and not maybe feel that burden. Secondly, it's okay to give someone a little bit of a pass if they don't notice. Like I'm super guilty of Kimberly will come home with a haircut and I won't notice it. And it's not because I don't love her or care about her. It's just because I honestly didn't notice. So that's true for all of us, right? Like we're kind of in our own bubble. So my encouragement to you today is give yourself a break. Don't be so hard on yourself. If you trip and fall, no one probably noticed anyway. And I hope this brightens your day a little bit. So, once again, if you're watching live, please hashtag live. If you're watching on replay, please hashtag replay. Thank you for watching today's Daily Musing. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.